Every business, whether it's big or small, really relies on infrastructure. It's that invisible stuff that makes everything else, well, work. We don't often think about it until something breaks, or maybe even worse, until it stops you from growing. We talk a lot about roads, the power grid, internet speed. Those are the obvious things you look for when scouting a new site, right? But what if a resource, something really basic like water, wasn't just available, but was actually a major competitive edge? Today, we're doing a deep dive into Fulton County, New York, to look at exactly that question. We've been looking through materials from their Industrial Development Agency, the FCID, and honestly, they make a really compelling case that water there isn't just a utility bill, it's a core asset.
Yeah, and this is where it gets interesting for you, the listener. That sort of aha moment. Maybe you're in site selection or operations, maybe even R&D. We're going to unpack how Fulton County's whole approach to water, and I mean, everything from supply to how they handle wastewater, creates real tangible benefits. We're talking operational savings, faster timelines, built-in sustainability, and for all sorts of businesses too, manufacturing, life sciences. It's not just pipes and pumps, It feels much more like strategic infrastructure, really designed for growth.
Okay, let's unpack that then, because usually when a business looks at a location, water supply is just like, oh, checkbox, right? Is it there? Can it cover our basic needs?
Yeah.
But Fulton County seems to make it a headline. They're actually boasting about it. So for industries that need a lot of reliable water, what makes their supply stand out so much? Why is it this competitive advantage? Is it really as good as it sounds?
That's a fair question because it does sound almost, well, exceptional. But what sets them apart, according to these materials, is the sheer scale and the certainty. It's explicitly built to support manufacturers, processors, innovators, anyone needing reliable, high-volume water. We talk about 4 reservoirs holding an impressive 710 million gallons. Just think about that number for a second. It positions the area as one of New York's most undertapped water assets. So it's not just there, it's abundant.
Yeah.
And reliably so.
710 million gallons. Okay.
Yeah.
So if for someone like a site selector or maybe an operations manager trying to find the next location for a plant that needs that kind of volume, what does that actually mean on the ground? How does that translate into a real benefit?
Well, for you, it translates directly into infrastructure certainty. And that's huge. Imagine just removing one of the biggest question marks, one of the biggest potential headaches from a big expansion project. No more guessing games about future supply, right? No worries about scarcity during peak times or, unexpected dry periods. This is a place with proven capacity for industrial scale demand. Plus, the technical readiness is there for quick hookups. That upfront certainty just removes a massive variable. It provides a level of confidence that lets you focus on your actual business, not whether the taps will run dry.
Okay, so the supply side is solid, really solid. But what about when that water has been used? For a lot of industries, especially the heavy water users, wastewater management is where the real costs pile up, and the regulations, the environmental concerns. And this is where, looking at the materials, Fulton County seems to get really interesting.
Absolutely. That's a crucial point. Every operations lead has to ask, how does this place handle the messy part, the wastewater, efficiently, sustainably? And Fulton County's answer is, well, it's pretty exceptional. The Gloversville-Johnstown Joint Wastewater Treatment Facility, let's call it the GJJWTF, they highlight it as the first and only facility in the entire U.S. that actually generates more power than it uses.
Wait, hold on, more power than it uses?
Yeah.
That's not just efficient, that's kind of revolutionary, isn't it? How does that even work? What does it mean for businesses hooking up to it?
It works thanks to its renewable methane-powered combined heat and power system, CHP, basically. So the facility captures the biogas, mostly methane, that's naturally produced when treating the wastewater. It then uses that captured gas to fuel generators. These generators produce both electricity and useful heat for the plant itself. It makes the whole operation incredibly self-sufficient. Often it actually exports power back to the grid. It's sustainability baked right into the operations.
That is a genuinely compelling sustainability story. Wow. So, okay, beyond the energy aspect, what about its actual capacity? How much can it handle, and how does that help businesses looking to set up shop?
Right, good question. The plant can process up to 13.8 million gallons every single day. But here's the key part for you if you're considering moving in. It's currently operating at only about 50% of its design load.
50%.
50%. So imagine that headroom. Immediate, massive capacity available for new industrial users. It means you're not going to strain the system. No worries about needing costly upgrades later on. It's just ready. For COOs, for operations leaders, This means significant operational savings. And that sustainability piece is just built right in. And for manufacturers, especially dairy, food, beverage, they often mention the ability to bypass expensive pre-treatment systems because they can run direct pipelines from their factories straight to this advanced facility. The source material suggests this alone can save hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. And, crucially, it speeds up regulatory approvals, gets you operational faster.
Okay, that direct pipeline bypassing pre-treatment, that sounds like a potential game changer. Can we dig into that a bit more? Who really benefits the most? You mentioned food manufacturers. They often have pretty challenging wastewater, right?
Oh, absolutely. And food manufacturers are a prime example of who benefits significantly here. The GJJWTF actually has a dedicated processing unit specifically designed for high-strength waste. Think things like whey from dairy production or washwater from food processing, stuff that's usually really tough and expensive to treat. And it doesn't just treat it, it converts it into clean energy using anaerobic digestion.
Right, anaerobic digestion. For listeners who might not be familiar, could you just quickly explain what that is?
Sure. Anaerobic digestion is basically a natural process.
Yep.
You use microorganisms to break down organic stuff like food waste or the way we mentioned,
right.
but crucially, it happens without oxygen. This breakdown produces biogas, which is mostly methane. And that biogas, as we said, can be captured and used as renewable fuel, which is exactly what the GJJWTF does. So for these food companies, think about it. No need to truck wet, heavy waste off-site, no major odor issues, which can be a big problem, no delays in processing. It becomes this seamless kind of closed-loop system. It turns what used to be a costly waste stream into an energy source.
That's incredibly efficient, and like you said, a huge plus for the environmental side of things. ESG is becoming so critical now for investors, consumers, everyone. Is this just a small part of their operation, or are we talking significant volumes here? Can you give us a sense of the scale?
Oh, this is definitely not greenwashing. The scale is substantial. They provide a figure. In 2019 alone, the facility processed over 211 million gallons of wastewater just from dairy manufacturers. Yeah. So for companies that really need to meet those increasing ESG mandates, environmental, social governance, Fulton County offers a powerful, verifiable story. It's about real efficiency and genuine environmental stewardship. It makes it arguably one of the most sustainable places to actually make food in the Northeast. That's a clear edge for brands focused on their footprint.
Okay, so the direct operational benefits are clear. The environmental story is strong. How does all this advanced infrastructure, the water supply and the wastewater treatment, translate into a broader advantage? Thinking maybe about industrial developers building new facilities or even those cutting-edge innovation companies like in biotech.
Right. Let's connect it to the bigger picture.
Yeah.
For industrial developers, having this kind of robust wastewater infrastructure is a major asset. And when you add in their future plans, they mentioned working on thermal sludge dryers to cut landfill use by like 80%.
Thermal sludge dryers, what do they do exactly?
Essentially, they use heat to bake the treated wastewater sludge, drastically reducing its volume and weight. Makes disposal way more efficient and sustainable, less stuff going to landfill. So for a developer, all this infrastructure significantly enhances the lease value of their properties. It reduces risk for potential tenants, and it really strengthens their marketing, especially to companies focused on ESG. Developers can genuinely offer facilities where sustainability isn't just a goal, it's an operational reality from day one.
Got it. So it's not just about today's operations, it's about future-proofing, making the area attractive for that next wave of sustainable businesses. Now, for both developers and the companies moving in, how fast can things happen? What's the speed to market situation like?
Yeah, that's crucial. For you as a developer or a company wanting to build, this top-tier infrastructure comes paired with shovel-ready sites. They list several parks, Tryon Technology Park, Johnstown Industrial Park, and they boast really impressive 60 to 90 day permitting windows.
60 to 90 days, that's fast.
It's very fast. It gives a clear speed to market advantage. And it provides assurance that utilities won't be the thing holding up your project. No frustrating delays waiting for infrastructure connections. And these benefits definitely extend to innovation companies too. Think life sciences, biotech. They gain critical advantages. The county's whole water and wastewater system is engineered to handle complex biological and chemical loads, which is obviously essential if you're running labs. Plus, the SCIDA, the development agency, offers direct, one-on-one support. They help early-stage companies align grant applications, make sure lab operations meet compliance protocols. You don't have to worry about coordinating zoning, power, or waste handling. They ensure it's all lined up. They support everything from that initial build-out right through to potentially future clinical scaling. It's a really integrated support system.
It really does sound like Fulton County isn't just selling water access. It feels like they're offering this whole comprehensive ecosystem built around water. So, summing it up, what's the ultimate takeaway for businesses looking at the region? What's the bottom line for someone evaluating it?
The bottom line seems pretty clear from the materials. If your business needs reliable water and top-tier wastewater management, Fulton County delivers, period. Is positioned strategically as the place to be for industries that simply cannot compromise on these critical resources. It seems to be a real cornerstone of their economic development strategy.
And they don't just provide the pipes and the treatment plant and say, good luck, right? Beyond the physical stuff, what other support does the FCIDA offer? It sounds quite hands-on.
Oh, absolutely. It's not just about the impressive hardware, if you will. It's about a full-stack support system designed to smooth out the whole process. The Fulton County IDA provides financial incentives, access to those crucial shovel-ready sites we talked about, and there are several listed, covering technology parks, industrial parks, business parks across the county. Plus, they offer permitting assistance, which is huge, and workforce development programs. It really comes across as a place built intentionally for smart, sustainable growth. You're getting a whole package of support tackling the major hurdles companies face when they expand or relocate.
So we've really seen today how Fulton County in New York has managed to take something fundamental, water, and turn it into a strategic, genuinely compelling advantage for businesses. From that abundant supply, the 710 million gallons in storage, to truly nation-leading wastewater management that actually generates power, to those specialized solutions for industries like food processing, and then wrapping it all up with comprehensive support from the FCIDA. It's a fascinating case study in strategic infrastructure planning.
Yeah, what really stands out, I think, is how a region can proactively de-risk the whole development process and foster real, sustainable growth. They didn't just address a basic utility, they optimize it to an incredibly advanced level. They've essentially turned potential challenges into major assets. Quite a blueprint.
So maybe it leaves you wondering, in a world where resources seem increasingly constrained and environmental regulations are only getting stricter, how much more will this kind of strategic management, this innovative use of something as basic as water, become the defining factor? For industrial competitiveness, for long-term sustainability, it's definitely something worth thinking about as you evaluate future opportunities for your business or the projects you're looking into.